Appreciate y'all. We love y'all. I'm Jamar McKeel.
I'm James
And
Driller.
y'all just got served with J&J Sports. Happy New Year.
Shout out to J&J. So I just want to send a shout out to J&J Sports for having me once again.
Watching content like what y'all put up. So yeah, let's rock and roll, brothers.
How does that kind of relate to the Micah Parsons trade? Because I feel like there's definitely some sort of relationship there.
I think it is, and I'm glad you brought that up because I think that's part of the reason why the Packers were so willing to let Rashawn Gary go for the price that they did. Because, I mean, so Dallas restructured his contract. I'm surprised he agreed to it.
Yeah.
But, you know, Micah Parsons just signed that contract where he's making like $40 million a year.
Yeah.
As the Packers' lead edge rusher, and he was doing good before he went down with injury. Gary, I think he was on 4 years, maybe like $80-something million. So, I mean, you got a good but not great guy making almost $23 million per season. So, I think the cap load from Parsons, you know, taking up like 40-something million dollars. And then you've got Gary who's making, you know, just over half that. I think that played a big part in Gary getting traded away, was clearing up some cap space. Because, I mean, you got Jordan Love making $50 million a year. So that was what I was kind of thinking earlier, was that it was a cap move. And I think Parsons directly plays a big role into the Packers saying, all right, we can let this guy go. And we can let him go for a fourth-round pick. Because the right team, I think Gary could have fetched a third, maybe even a second-round pick from a team that was desperate enough.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. Yeah. So they didn't have to spend that much.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was almost like they kind of gave them a deal. But, I mean, with the Parsons thing, I know it was 2 first-round picks that they traded for Parsons. And then the fourth-rounder. And it does seem like, I mean, a fourth-round pick for a pass rusher that's, like, great or good to great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's a decent deal for the Cowboys. But
Yeah, I agree.
also, like, I am definitely curious, as a Packers fan, what were your first thoughts about Parsons joining the team?
Oh, I just about jumping up for joy in the air, you know, because, okay, so, excuse me, watching the Packers, especially in like the early mid-2010s with Aaron Rodgers, one of the biggest weakness of the team was the defense.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I go to watch a Packers playoff game and the offense will go and score 28, 31 points, and we're still losing because the defense gave up 42 points.
Yeah.
So that's kind of always been like a super big weakness of the Packers. And I mean, as y'all know, you know, Micah Parsons is one of the best in the business.
Oh, yeah.
So when you can get a pass rusher of his caliber, and it disrupts the game so much when you can rush the passer well. I mean, you look at the teams that just can't get to the quarterback, Bengals, Browns. You see how the whole rest of the defense suffers because you can't get pressure on the offense.
Yeah.
So to me, you know, short of like 5 first-round picks, there's really not a price that's too high for a guy like Micah Parsons. I mean, before he went down, the Packers had like I want to say the 3rd or the 4th scoring defense in the whole league. So I mean, I was just ecstatic, you know, getting it, because pass rushers that caliber, they're few and far between. So for the Packers to get a player of that caliber, I mean, I was just jumping for joy.
Yeah, he finished with 12 and a half sacks, and he was almost voted MVP or Defensive Player of the Year for his team, and he didn't even finish the season.
Exactly.
So that's, you know.
Shows you like just how much.
Would have finished. They would have.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably would have had 16 or so sacks. I mean, I don't know what game he got hurt in, so I don't want to exaggerate too much, but I mean, still 12 and a half sacks on not even, that's a great year for most guys.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm excited to have him back next year and see I'm really excited to see what Jonathan Gannon can do with him as a defensive coordinator for the team.
Yeah, and I know, like, a lot of the media were talking about, like, Micah Parsons and, like, the effect that he's going to have, like, going over. And I think Dallas really maybe made a mistake, and they admitted that they made a mistake halfway through the season, trading for Quinnen Williams.
Yeah.
But then you had this had me kind of confused. They were trying to get Max Crosby in, and it's like, so why get rid of like an elite player like Parsons, and then like bring in someone else who's elite, but not on the same
on the
level.
same
as-
spectrum.
Yeah.
And it's like, Jerry Jones, they have the money. That's why I never understood why he just. I don't know if he didn't see the value or whatever, but I would have kept him.
Yeah.
Because a good defensive player is hard to find. Like,
Yeah.
and one that can really change a game.
Yeah.
I would put big money on it. So I never understood his like logic of it. But
I think that maybe, and this is just my personal conjecture here, but I think that at some point Parsons and Jerry Jones specifically got crossways, because I remember there was a couple of like weird moments where Jerry Jones kind of subtweeted like Parsons whenever he was answering the media. One specific example, I don't know if you remember this, but it seemed really minor in hindsight, but it seemed to mean a lot to Jerry. It was like a spring training or spring practice or something like that before the season started. And Parsons comes off the sideline. They're not padded up or anything. And he's acting all tired, and he lays down on the bench.
yeah.
And then Jerry Jones takes the time to then go into an interview and say, yeah, star defensive players don't act like that. And it was just like, seemed like Jerry making a big deal out of nothing. But my take was that they at some point got crossways.
Yeah.
Jerry made his mind up that you're gone. And
it's definitely something behind the scenes that he felt and would, let me start the fire now. It definitely because it wasn't that situation.
Yeah.
And he has a tendency to do that with a lot of people. It's like if you get another personality in the room that's similar to Jerry's, if he's not getting along with them, then he just can't
He
deal
can't
with
deal
them.
with it no more.
Yeah.
And it's like, at that point, it's like, you're not really thinking about your team now.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not trying to win at that point.
Yeah, I mean, changing the defense too. People were saying we'll know at the end of the season, like how this trade was for the Packers, and obviously it was excellent. But it's going to be a few years to know for the Cowboys because of the draft pick.
Right,
Yeah.
how bad, because I don't think it hasn't fully hit them yet. Like, dang, we really just got rid of this guy.
Yeah, seriously.
And with the Packers in the position they're at, like I'm always curious with like fans of any team who they're most. I don't want to necessarily say hated, but which team do you like to lose to the least?
Obviously, the number one pick I'm going to have to go with really any interdivisional team, but if I got to pick one specifically, it's the Bears. I just can't stand losing to the Bears.
Yeah.
And, James, you're not going to like to hear this, but I can't stand. Well, the Packers did a lot of winning against the Cowboys, but with the few times that we did lose to the Cowboys, I can't stand losing to the Cowboys. So definitely the Bears or the Cowboys. If it's any other team, I can handle it, but,
I know them Packers and Bears, there's so much history.
So much history,
I
yeah.
already know that's like, it's like us with the Falcons.
Yeah, it's like your arch rival, you know?
We hate them. As soon
Yeah.
as they get on the field, it's a hate.
Yeah.
So,
So losing to the Bears last season in the playoffs, especially the way that the Packers did. I mean, man, for like 2 days, I was just like, oh,
yeah.
that was rough, you know?
It's always interesting to hear like people's perspectives on other teams and like the rivalries and everything. And so I guess the Lions, like you're less worried about the Lions than the Bears.
The Lions, of course I don't want the Packers to lose to the Lions, but the Lions have been, how do I put it? The Lions have been such a little brother in the division for so long. I mean, back in the day, the Lions were, in like, from when I started watching the team in 2012 until really about 2023, the Lions were pretty much like a free 2 wins on the schedule.
Yeah.
Like every year, I see the division. We're going to beat the Bears. We're probably going to beat the Vikings because they were pretty good for a while with Adrian Peterson and all them. But then you see the Lions, and it's like, that's 2 free wins right there.
Yeah.
So, of course, I don't want the Packers to lose to the Lions, but it's almost like I can bear that much less or much better than losing to the Bears or even the Vikings.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I got to think that maybe it's kind of like a Panthers situation with the Saints.
So, yeah. If we lose to them, it's like I remember when we lost to them, I knew it was bad.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. What about you, James? What team can you not stand
Like
to see
for the Cowboys,
The
man.
Eagles.
Damn,
Eagles
there you
are.
Wait, yeah.
it's really difficult to.
How you feel like they gonna do like this next season? Because I know they've been having kind of trouble like this last season. How you feel like they gonna do?
I think they're going to look sharp, but just judging from their performance of this last season, and they had their highs and lows throughout the season. And actually, I remember kind of late November, 21-0 in the second quarter. Eagles over the Cowboys. The Cowboys came back to win the game 24-1.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That's one of the best performances I've ever seen, and that also kind of goes with that performance of Dak against the Packers, which like I've never seen him play like that.
Yeah. No, that was a rough game.
That was a game.
Yeah.
Hey, it's James Jerwitz from J&J Sports. Make sure you check out our episodes that are now on Spotify, and shout out to Barracks.
J&J Sports.
Keeping it slick in 2026.